What's up, everybody? Jackson Fuller here with Star News, and this is Zoom Time Part 2, just a new bi-weekly video series I'm starting with local coaches and hopefully some athletes. The second guest on this series, kind enough to join me today, is Laney baseball coach Eric Brown. Coach Brown, how are you doing? How are you holding up with this coronavirus and stir-crazy nonsense of staying at home all the time?
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, doing pretty well in the grand scheme of things. I hate it, not just for baseball players, but all the spring sport athletes, their parents, and everybody has put so much work into it. The reporters like you I know you're going out of your mind. So, but coming into work every day is kind of keeping me going, keeping me sane. So, all things considered, not too bad.
Yeah, so our first guest was Coach Hickman, the West Brunswick football coach. He kind of gave a little bit on what Brunswick County's schedule is. What's it like for you in the New Hanover County schools? Have you guys started virtual learning yet? That's coming down in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, so we are right now. We're kind of rolling out the new material tomorrow. I guess April 1st is what we've been told. I know the DPI has made some changes to the grading policy, so we're kind of waiting to hear a final word on that. But so far, we've just been communicating with the students in our classes and our parents, and then just getting them ready for tomorrow, making sure they've got technology that they need and things like that to be able to join in on the learning. So.
Hmm. And you're still going into the school, maybe not every day, but still as often as you feel like you need to.
Yeah, I am. I'm so far I've come every day, Monday through Friday, just because I'm out here in the office, just away from the building, so I'm kind of self-quarantining here.
Mm-hmm.
But then also I got the field that going out and working on it every day kind of keeps me going too. So just feel like I can get more done.
I've
Here.
seen the pics on Twitter and Facebook. The field looks incredible shape. It's been beautiful weather. It just makes everything about this even more painful, I guess. Let's talk a little Laney baseball. Just how much excitement was there coming into this season for you? And I mean, you guys had a special group. It seemed like a good group of seniors, but also some young and talented underclassmen. I mean, what were the realistic expectations that y'all had coming into this season?
Yeah, I mean, there still is. I mean, obviously with this, we're trying to stay positive, but coming in, just steamrolling into the season with a ton of excitement, some really high expectations for us, a lot of goals that we thought were pretty attainable. I mean, obviously we play in what I think is the best baseball conference in the state. And I'll argue with anybody on that. We're top to bottom. It's just a really strong conference. There's not a single night that you can go out and put a win next to your name. You got to beat everybody that's in front of you. There's no givens. But we thought that winning the conference was a real possibility. We knew we were going to have to play well. There's some very good teams, a lot of talent, some very good coaches in this league. But we thought that we match up with anybody, anybody in the conference, anybody in the state. I mean, that's just how much confidence we had, how much trust I had in the players or having the players. That they would take care of that. We got off to a really good start. Practices were phenomenal. The energy at the games were great. We had a ton of support. So like I said, I just hate that it's gotten halted. Hopefully we get a chance to get back on the field and kind of salvage some of that and show people what 2020 could have been for us. So.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned, I mean, it's not quite out of the realm of possibility yet that we could still have a small spring sports season. The NCHSA is certainly holding out hope. I think we got to maintain our social distancing practices in order for that to happen. But, I'm right there with you. Hopefully we can kind of get back to something. You talk about winning the conference. When you first arrived at Laney, that was not an expectation at all. I mean, did you have an idea, though, with, that group of freshmen when you first got there are now seniors? Did you see that there was potential with that group to maybe one day, get to this point where there was an opportunity to be right there up with the best of the best in the MEC?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, yeah, like you said, that first year I had no idea what was going to happen, but we've still approached it. Even from day one then to day one to whatever day it is now, we've gone about it the same way. I know with having that first group of freshmen that are now seniors, just kind of the way we practice, including our JV and our practices every day, they were getting reps with varsity players. the Legion program that we started, early on it caught some heat from people because they thought we didn't have any business having freshmen and sophomores playing against graduating seniors and college freshmen. But I do think that that's the reason for a lot of the success that we've had. And I thought last year with our senior class and then those, the underclassmen that we had, I honestly thought we were a year ahead of schedule last year. Those guys were unbelievable last year. The way they battled, I think we had 3 or 4 walk-off wins. We were 12-1 at home. Just everything that you want to see as a coach. I mean, those guys did last year. And so, and I know the guys that are seniors this year, there's always a thing that they kind of want to outdo the class before them. They want to leave their legacy. So I know that they were excited and chomping at the bits to kind of outdo those guys this year, just kind of that competitive nature. But
when, what was the biggest thing that you felt like had to change within the program when you first arrived? Because, you guys, I think they didn't win a game in the conference when, the season before. You only won one when you were there, but there were signs of progress even in that first season. What did you feel like was the biggest thing that you had to maybe set for the new Laney baseball culture under Coach Brown?
I wish I had this great answer that I could tell you that I had some secret plan in mind, but I really didn't. I didn't know anything really that had happened prior. I didn't know what the culture was like when I got here. I just knew what I wanted to try to implement. And for me, because baseball has given me so much, that was kind of my big thing was just first and foremost is just we're going to respect the game itself. Whichever kind of way I've got to get that out of you. You guys are going to respect the game, and they've done that. I know that, it's not all about baseball. So the biggest thing that we focused on day one was just building relationships with the players and the parents. They had no clue who I was. My coaching resume wasn't great. So they come in and they see the numbers and like, who is this guy? Why is he here? So I had to earn their trust. And I guaranteed them and I promised them in our first meeting that I would do that, however long it took. I think I've done that to this point. I haven't probably pleased everybody along the way, but one thing that I learned early on was it's more important to be respected than it is to be popular. And that's something that I drill into these players every day. And that, with our coaching staff too, like not everybody's going to like us. If everybody loves you, then you're probably not doing your job the way you should be. And so
high school coaches and high school reporters don't please anyone, Coach Brown. That's usually the rules and how it works. So.
Yeah, that's true.
You mentioned the Legion team, and was that something that you had in mind right away when you arrived at Laney, or was it after the first year identifying it was an extra way for our guys to get reps together, or was it something that once you arrived at the program you were like, I'm going to start a Legion team for our boys?
No, that was one of the things I mapped out. I think I even talked about it in my interview, to be honest with you. I knew that growing up, I played Legion. I loved it. It was a lot of fun, and it was really good for my development and the guys that I played with as well. And I knew it was going to be a challenge. I knew it was going to be really difficult for us that first year because, like I said, I played it before. Post 10 has always been around. They've dominated the state, so I knew that would be tough. Just anytime you're putting, 15-year-old on the field with 18, 19-year-olds, there's going to be a big gap there. But like I said, I knew that was something we needed to do to just keep those guys playing, not so much playing baseball because there's plenty of opportunities for them to play with travel and showcase. And it's not that I have anything against those. It's just I'm a big believer that they need to play together as a team. And I think that's been our biggest asset. It's not talent, definitely isn't our biggest asset. We're talented, but we're not that talented. I think the chemistry and the bond that they have as teammates playing together, competing together as much as they have has really helped with our success.
Is summer ball even an option anymore? Because I remember back when I was in high school playing, you could either do Legion or summer ball or do both. And summer ball was more school focused where Legion was kind of city focused. Is summer ball even an option anymore? Or is it just pretty much all Legion these days?
When you're talking summer ball, do you mean like the Scholastic?
Yeah,
We
like through your school, I don't think the head coach can be your head coach, but it's not nearly as long of a season. But it's you wear your school's jerseys and colors, and there's you're
yeah.
affiliated with the school, but you're not technically with Legion.
I believe that's what they were doing prior.
Mhm.
Um, and then I think just because what I know of it, what I understand of it is you're just kind of playing the same teams over and over. But what Legion allowed us to do is play. Obviously we're playing older players. Not everybody does Legion the way we do. We do it as a high school development um, team. A lot of people are pulling college freshmen, which is it's fine. So you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
But we feel like we can still compete with the way we are. But we get a chance to go up and play, Jacksonville, Morehead City. We can really schedule any team in the state. So that's pretty cool for us to be able to have that
Yeah.
option.
Um, when did you guys kind of have your good? Did you guys play a game on that last Friday of high school sports? I think you guys had a game on Thursday, right?
We did. We played on Thursday, and I was actually we were supposed to play Richmond Senior on that Saturday. We played Scotland, but they canceled because of field conditions. So I was kind of ticked about that, but then it actually worked out because we picked up a game that Monday with Croatan. They agreed to come down Thursday, so it actually kind of worked out that we were being able to play on Thursday because we were going up to Jacksonville Saturday, and that's the one that we couldn't make. But yeah, we didn't play on Friday. It was just that Thursday.
Did you guys have a practice that Friday, the last Friday that you guys were kind of allowed to? And if you did, I mean, that had to have been a very weird practice vibe, I guess.
We did not, and I know people are probably like, "Man, is Coach Brown okay? Why is he not practicing?" But Thursday was just that game was just a really um, it was tough. I mean, it was a struggle for me because I could, all the boys see it. They see social media. They knew what was going on. They all thought it was it. Um, there was nothing that I could tell them that day that they were going to get locked in and motivated to play like they normally would. Luckily we won and ended the game on a good note. But I could just see it in their body language and their faces that they were dreading it. They were emotional. They were high strung. But for me, it was the toughest game I've ever had to coach, no doubt about it. So I just felt like Friday, I was like, you know what? I don't know what we would do tomorrow. So just, we had tossed around some ideas about taking them somewhere to eat dinner or do something as a team, but I just kind of wanted them to relax and get away from it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that 3 day stretch. I think Thursday you had some teams playing your last game, Friday everyone playing their last game, and then Saturday the realization that it was kind of over for now at least was a very emotional time for everybody across the state. But you guys are still doing some Zoom interviews with the entire not interviews but gatherings with the entire team, right? I mean, is that something that you put together, and how much fun is it to still see the faces of these players that you were working for 7 months probably together before the season got suspended?
Yeah, that's it was cool for me. We're obviously, I mean, I'm communicating with them daily through text and things like that, phone calls or whatever else. But being able to have the technology to Zoom and see them, and it's always nice. I mean, because it's like I said, we are a baseball team, I'm a baseball coach, but that's not the only reason I do this thing. Is seeing those guys and being able to have some sort of impact on their life, hopefully, help them when they need help, guide them in the right direction if I can do that. So yeah, I definitely miss seeing them more than I do coaching them. Just being around them in the locker room and on the field, and seeing how they interact with each other. But we'll get back to it eventually.
We will. The life will get back to hopefully normal sooner rather than later, but it's just a matter of being patient right now. All right, Coach Brown, last question for you. I asked Coach Hickman this. I'm going to ask all of my interviews this. What's the one sporting event, if you could just magically snap your fingers and have it reappear despite this coronavirus pandemic, that you'd have? Don't count high school sports, but like opening day, the Masters, March Madness, the Olympics this summer. What's the one thing you choose to kind of have a normal sporting event to watch right now?
Well, if I can't choose Laney baseball, then obviously I'm going to choose opening day, Major League Baseball. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything like it. It should be a national holiday, having all the teams play on the same day. I know they've changed the schedule now where some teams start earlier and things, but I just remember growing up and, seeing all the teams play on the first day, starting at whatever it's 1 o'clock and going all the way through the day. It's just an awesome day for me. So I missed that, obviously, the other day. But
I used to fake sick in high school or in middle school maybe, and then after 2 years, my parents got on and didn't let that happen again. Are you a Braves fan, or are you a fan of another team? I know we're in kind of Braves country right now.
yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a Braves fan just because one of my best friends has been trying to get me to be a Braves fan for years now. But I really just enjoy watching the game of baseball. I don't really have a favorite team now. Playing with the Mets and having a lot of guys on that team that I played with a few years ago was kind of cool to follow them and watch them and root for them. But I just enjoy watching any team that's playing. I also like pulling against the Yankees, but
everyone does. Who were some of the guys that you came across with that maybe made it to the show and started playing with the Mets?
Can't remember the year. The year that Daniel Murphy basically carried the team through the playoffs. It was him, Bobby Parnell, Jonathan Neese, Ruben Tejada, Lucas Duda, Nick Evans. So that kind of thing was what, 2007, 8, 9. 10,
it might have been just a little bit later than that they made the year that they made the World Series, I guess, right? And played the Royals. Yeah, it's somewhere late that decade or early the next decade. I mean, that was such a you say those guys' names and it's like, how in the world did that team make the World Series? But they just had excellent pitching, and those Murphy and Duda and those bats just got really hot in the postseason.
Yeah, it was cool to see those guys play, man. That was, like I said, I was rooting for them, obviously, but they've kind of gone away now. So, I mean, I follow them still, but I don't really root for the –
Murphy just won the World Series, right, with the Nationals. Was he on that team?
No, he was on the Rockies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Cool, Eric. Well, I appreciate you so much for joining me, man. Good luck with everything over the next couple months. Hopefully by the time May 18th rolls around, we can get back into high school sports and we can talk about actual baseball games being played. But thank you so much for joining me. Stay healthy and safe, and try and stay sane over these next 2 months, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.